Glitter, 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 unicorn poop. Hey, what's up? This is me, Glitter Unicorn Poop, and today we're going to react to finally, the Yandere, that video that he promised us. So, and now I'm curious, what's it all about, right? So, let's go. So, because Yandere Sim is one of the games I enjoy, say enjoyed, I don't know, because it's slowed down a lot, right? Okay, let's see what's going on here.
August 31st, I released the official Yandere Simulator demo, and I asked people to send me their thoughts and feelings about it. Over the next few weeks, I received tons of feedback about the demo. I'm happy to say that most of the messages I received were very positive. The majority of people seemed to enjoy the demo a lot. However, the only way for a game to improve is to listen to the people who have identified flaws with that game. So, I paid close attention to the words of anyone who had a negative experience with the demo. A lot of people pointed out imbalanced mechanics, game design flaws, and features that were simply not any fun. I saw a lot of wisdom among all the feedback that I was receiving, so I decided to use that feedback to make the demo better.
Okay, that's cool.
I compiled a list of everything that was bothering players, and I spent the next few months going through that list and addressing each problem one by one.
Oh, okay.
At this point in time, I think I've fixed almost every major issue that people had with the original release of the demo.
All right.
And I feel like the current version offers a vastly improved experience over the original.
Okay.
In this video, I'd like to go over some of the ways that your feedback helped to improve the demo.
Now I'm curious.
I've made over 100 changes to the demo since it was released. But most of those changes are relatively small. So I'm only going to show you the most significant ones.
Okay.
Let's get started. There are certain elimination methods that can only be completed if the player is present to witness an event. For example, if you want to matchmake Osana, you need to know what kind of guy she likes. There's an event where she talks to her friend about the traits she finds attractive. But there's no way for the player to know ahead of time that this event is going to take place. If you miss it, you're screwed. This is a legitimate game design flaw. The solution, of course, is that the player should be able to obtain essential information through action rather than by clairvoyantly knowing the exact time of day when a scripted event is going to occur. If you want to learn something about Osana, you should be able to find out by snooping around in her belongings, or asking her friends, or just asking Osana herself. Taking direct action at a time of your choosing is always more fun than just waiting around for a scripted event to occur at an arbitrary time of day.
I think so
This is definitely something I'm going to keep in mind when designing eliminations for future rivals. But with all of that said, scripted events are still a big part of Yandere Simulator. These events are what make each day feel different. And of course, they often provide you with opportunities to kill the rival or sabotage her interactions with Senpai. However, some players told me that they feel overwhelmed by the number of events occurring each day. Some of them even felt a need to constantly restart the day out of fear that they might have missed something cool. Even though I planned to make the gameplay less reliant on scripted events in the future, I still wanted to accommodate the players who felt overwhelmed. Eventually, I found a solution in one of my favorite games, The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. It's a game about preventing a disaster that is going to occur in 3 days. If you fail to prevent the disaster, you can use time travel to return to the first day and try again. There are dozens of scripted events that occur at specific times across the 3-day cycle, and every time the player discovers a new event, it gets logged into a notebook. To assist players who feel overwhelmed.
Yandere Dev is doing it again. He's listening to the fans, but he's doing too much again, I think. But okay, maybe I'm wrong. Keep listening what he's got to say. All right.
By the game's numerous events, I've added a schedule screen to the pause menu. It serves the same purpose as the notebook from Majora's Mask. It's a list of every event that will be occurring throughout the week, what times those events will happen, and which characters will be involved. In Majora's Mask, the notebook starts out empty and gradually fills out as the player discovers new events. Filling the entire notebook requires a lot of time travel. But in Yandere Sim, traveling through time is not an option.
Yeah.
So the schedule screen is already full when the game begins.
Okay.
You might think it's kinda weird that Yandere-chan has a magical app on her cell phone that tells her what's going to happen in the future. But that's not really how you should look at it. Think of the schedule screen the same way you think of the settings menu or the saving and loading menus. It's a screen that exists for the convenience of the player, rather than something that exists as an aspect of the game's story.
Okay.
After releasing the demo, I watched many people play the game, and I noticed a pattern. People who were playing Yandere Sim for the first time, or returning to Yandere Sim after several years, often expressed that they had no idea what to do. They said that the game wasn't providing them with enough direction.
Yeah, that's right.
Yandere Simulator is supposed to be a sandbox-style game.
We know about
That means it's
right?
a game where you are given the freedom to roam around as you please and make your own decisions about when, where, and how you'd like to accomplish your goals. I've never wanted to make the player feel like there is only one thing that they are supposed to be doing at any given time, or only one right way to play the game. However, dropping the player into a giant sandbox and not telling them how to do things doesn't make them feel free. It just makes them feel confused. It's a balancing act. I don't want to give the players so much direction that I'm holding their hand every step of the way, but I still need to give them just enough direction that they don't feel lost and aimless. I came up with an idea that I hope is a nice compromise. Whenever an event is occurring somewhere at school that can facilitate an elimination method, a text message from InfoChan will appear in the corner of the screen. Opening this text message will bring the player to the schedule menu, where they can read a short paragraph explaining how this event can lead to their rival being eliminated.
Okay, that's cool.
This screen also contains a shortcut leading directly to the schemes menu. So hopefully, there should no longer be any chance of players feeling lost or confused.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot.
Another thing that
really
frustrated new players were the tutorial windows. These windows frequently interrupted gameplay in a very obnoxious way, and always contained massive walls of text that nobody wanted to read. I noticed that almost everyone who is playing the game for the first time just disables the tutorials immediately. I decided that the solution to this problem is the same as the solution to the previous problem. Whenever the player enters a circumstance where a tutorial would be beneficial, a text message from InfoChan will appear in the corner of the screen.
Okay, I like that a lot.
Opening this text message
That's really
will display a very short and straightforward message that communicates some information the player should be aware of, while offering the option of displaying more information if the player chooses. To be honest, this still isn't the ideal solution. Nobody likes tutorial windows. When imagining the most engaging and effective way to make the player familiar with the game's mechanics, I imagine something more like a short playable sequence that is designed to introduce the player to each of the game's core mechanics. For example, after the intro cutscene ends, but before gameplay truly begins, perhaps there should be an orientation day, a day for students to become familiar with their school before the semester begins. On this day, a member of the drama club would approach Yandere-chan and ask her for help rehearsing a play about a serial killer. During this rehearsal, the player would be taught about various actions, such as attacking students, hiding bodies, and cleaning up blood. This sequence could be designed to teach the player everything they need to know about the game, without the use of annoying pop-up windows. Oh, and by the way, an orientation day at school could also serve another purpose. It would provide new players with an opportunity to walk around the school freely and become familiar with it without worrying about being late for class or eliminating rivals. Many players pointed out that the social interactions you can have with other students were too shallow. You just walked up to them and pressed a button to get the result you wanted. That's not fun or interesting at all. It was a completely brain-dead feature. So, I set out to fix it. For a long time now, every student in the game has had a list of likes and dislikes, opinions on various topics. However, I wasn't doing very much with this feature. It was only relevant during the matchmaking minigame.
That's right, yeah.
But upon further consideration, I realized that this feature might be the solution to making social interactions more fun and interesting. As of now, the compliment option has been replaced with a socialize option.
Oh.
To successfully socialize with a student, you must make a positive statement about something they like, or make a negative statement about something they dislike.
I like that.
In most cases, a student's likes and dislikes should be fairly obvious. For example, everyone in the cooking club loves cooking, and everyone in the occult club loves the occult. But if you want to know all of a student's opinions, you need to do a bit of work. The current method is to befriend a student, ask them to follow you, and lead them around school. As you pass by different rooms, they will express their opinions on various subjects.
Okay.
But if this method is too tedious, then I'll try to come up with something better in the future. Oh, and this new conversation system has another purpose too. It's also used for gossiping. I'll give you an example. Yandere loves reading. So, if you tell Yandere that Osana hates reading, Yandere will think less of Osana and will contribute to the spread of rumors about her, which will damage Osana's reputation. I think this is a massive improvement over the way things were before. The act of raising your reputation and damaging your rival's reputation is no longer limited to simply mashing a button. You now have to actually know the likes and dislikes of the person you're talking to in order to socialize with them effectively. I've enjoyed talking about some of the ways that the demo has improved thanks to your feedback. But there are still a lot of other things that I'd like to say about the demo. I'd like to talk about some observations I made while watching players, some changes I'd like to make to the game in the future, and a couple of new features that were added recently. So I'll stop this video right here, and I'll upload another one tomorrow. I hope you look forward to it. Thank you for following the development of Yandere Simulator.
Okay. Thank you, Yandere. Okay. I think that was a really, really positive video, and a lot of improvement that we are going to get, right? I hope he can manage that, because that's a lot. That's a lot. You have to keep in mind he's doing all the stuff alone, and that's a lot of stuff he wants to do. But I like the ideas that he is coming up with. That's really good. Okay, I think that's enough for now. You see me when he's uploading. I'm going to react to that too. And see you soon. Bye.